Where'd you get this one?
Where'd I get what?
This.
Dude, I fucking found that. I am the king of free shit. You're sitting on a free couch in front of a free coffee table.
Oh shit, you can get it for free. What's up?
This is... I found this in Russell's neighborhood in Montclair. Well, your neighborhood, sort of. Just like on the side of the road.
I know. This is probably like $3,000 or $4,000 coffee table.
Yeah, live oak, rolled, I think it's walnut. Yeah, and it was just like there, like somebody like didn't want it anymore. They're like, hey, okay. So, free shit, whatever.
Whatever, man. Shit, take your bread.
Dude, it's heavy as fuck.
Wow.
I've gotten really good at getting large, obnoxious things into my truck with no help.
I know. Having a luxury vehicle, I was like, I will see shit and I'll be like, oh man.
I thought I saw you driving around the other day. I was like, a black dude driving a black SUV or black Porsche, and I was like, ooh.
It's probably me.
It wasn't. No. You know, I was like right on the freeway, and I was like about to do like some dickhead like a wave.
Hello, buddy. No, but like I really do like what HQ is doing.
I don't want to pull up their site right now because I haven't looked at. I get the email every day, but like
I get the email.
I get so many goddamn emails every day.
The best email that I think I get is Daily Dad. That shit is fantastic.
Daily Dad?
Yeah, I sent you a couple.
You did. Is that part of Daily Stoic?
Yeah.
Because
same dude.
Chris reads Daily Stoic. He's always like all about it. So my head coach or my second coach, I'm the head coach, I suppose.
Daily Stoic is great. But Daily Dad, I think, is fucking fantastic. It's just kind of like, it gives you insight into raising self-sufficient, caring, but not pushover children. So, you know, and it also checks you on your shit. You're having expectations that you want for your kids, but you yourself can't fulfill. You know, stuff like that. So,
I got a podcast now too. Everybody's got a goddamn podcast. You and me too.
I know, it's just the whole podcast thing. I'm just like, you gotta be worth it, you know, like, you gotta be.
Oh yeah, you gotta give me a few nuggets first before I'm gonna spend my time.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, it's the podcasting world has turned into like, you know, everybody has something valuable to say. It's just like, how valuable is it? And I can't listen to like a 4-hour podcast if you're just talking bullshit.
Dude, this is the hardest thing I have right now is there's such good stuff and I don't have all the time to look at it all.
Wouldn't you ever have time to look at it all?
Yeah. No. I mean, by definition, like, I read some staggering numbers about how many like books and content. Like, you'd need like thousands of lifetimes to consume all the content that's out there. Like, you couldn't possibly read every book or whatever. Like, it's just not going to happen. So you got to edit.
Would you prefer to have like, what was that show where you just put the stack in the back of your phone?
Yes.
Would you prefer to be like, yo, just download all the books and be like,
just some straight up Matrix shit. Just download that into my brain.
So,
why not?
Yeah,
I mean, he wasted his time learning kung fu.
True, because you should have learned jits, but guys.
Well, forget jits. Forget jits. Look what he really needed to learn. I mean, that was, plot elements of the Matrix.
Right.
Kind of ridiculous to begin with. But you didn't need to learn anything. There's no physical environment.
That's true.
You don't need to learn shit. You just need to figure out that you can just go, oh, stop. You just will things into being because it's a fucking computer.
Right.
But anyway.
Is it like, would it be transferable? Like, you know, they say practice is what makes people experts, right? So you learn kung fu, but did you practice kung fu? Like, okay, it's in your head, you know the shit, and then you get into a street fight.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, when Neo's unplugged, can he do kung fu?
Can he do fucking?
I mean, he can't fly. I mean, physics is physics.
Right.
But, like, could he still do it? Do you know what you know outside of the Matrix? Like, if you, like, download every book, every piece of content into your brain, when you're unplugged, do you know it still? Yeah. Like, I'd pay for that shit. We're going to be cybernetically enhanced. Okay? Our kids...
When do you think that's going to happen? What's the time frame?
The next generation.
30 years?
Our kids.
So
our kids is our age. They'll be getting implants.
So 30 years from now, do you think it's gonna be we could upload our shit, like upload our brain?
Eventually.
Do you think we'll be around for that?
Maybe. Have you seen Years and Years on HBO?
No.
You gotta watch it. It's this exact thing. It's what is it, like 6 episodes, 8 episodes, each an hour, hour and a half, something like that. I think I can't remember. Anyway, Emma Thompson is probably the only one you'd recognize. It's all British. So it takes place in England, but it takes place in London, or in England, just barely in the future. Donald Trump's still president.
Oh shit.
They talk about that, but then Pence is president, but they're like, what we know, Donald's still pulling the strings, even though he's done all this kind of stuff. But then it follows this family. It's really just the story of this family, but intertwined is like some super high tech shit.
Yeah.
She has at one point she brings out this pen. And she flips the pen, and all of the electronic devices just turn off. And so she wants to this is Emma Thompson. So she wants to give a very honest speech, but she doesn't want to be tweeted out and misconstrued and everything else. So she just turns it off. Turns off everybody's feeds. Yeah. And that's super illegal. But she does it anyway, and then she gives her whole speech, and then she turns back on it, and by that point everyone's cheering for her because they love what she had. They stop, and the point is, if you stop and actually listen to what people have to say, maybe there's something in it. But no, the cool thing about this is that one of the characters wants to become enhanced, cybernetically enhanced. And so she gets a bionic eye, or her friend goes and gets a bionic eye, and it goes bad. It's basically like kids doing drugs.
Right.
And my friend got really sick, and we went to a sketchy situation, but my friend got hurt and I didn't. So okay. Then she gets her phone planted into her hand, so she can do this, talk on the phone.
That's a bit much.
And she can snap her fingers and delete a voicemail or whatever, send a text message, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And so you can see the wires sort of just under her skin, and then she's typing like this, in midair, because all of her fingers now she's all enhanced as she gets older. And then the whole thing is that character wants to upload herself to the cloud, her consciousness completely.
Yeah.
And then one of her family members actually gets to be the first person that gets uploaded because she's sick, and so she's dying. But they're whoever it is that's in charge decides, okay, yeah, that's what we want.
This may sound a little bit fucking far-fetched, but I say if we make it to 95 or 90, we'll be uploadable.
50 years?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's probably going to cost a pretty penny.
I think that the human brain is way more complex technologically than anybody really gives it credit for.
Probably be a crude form of it.
Do you really want a crude form?
Be like a bot. Hey, Fabien, how you doing? I'm doing fine.
I mean, that's the thing. It would be indiscernible. The only reason that would be even interesting or compelling in any way is if you could download it back into another body.
Yeah.
Because, let's be real. I could just say, oh yeah, I downloaded you into the computer, and it's just some fucking bot that has I can have auto response texts already.
Right.
Right. That's just
I wouldn't want to be a bot, but I would also I think if I'm just stuck in a fucking bunch of servers somewhere, you'd miss basic shit.
I say, why the fuck not? Black Mirror episode. What's the worst that could fucking happen? You're dead anyway.
Dead anyway.
Maybe you're in some sort of hell of you actually are conscious, but at that point
you still get to experience, and you probably get to experience a lot more of life because what are your responsibilities? You don't have to go to work.
Yeah, but then you're just this boring consciousness. You ever had those days when you're you have nothing to do, and you just sit on the fucking couch, and you don't do fuck all, you don't feel like getting high, you don't feel like getting drunk, you don't feel like eating, you don't feel like taking a shit, you don't feel like watching anything on TV, you just kind of
I haven't had one of those in a long time. But.
Yeah, but you've had them.
Yeah.
Okay, an eternity of that.
Because you've done everything.
You gotta know what to do. How long is it gonna take to watch every movie simultaneously if you're fucking ones and zeros? Not very long.
Not very long. Just download.
Read everything, figure it all out, and then what? You're just all right, well,
we're done here.
I'm just gonna watch Earth decay. That's gonna be fun. That's all you're doing. You're sitting around watching the Earth blow up.
I want to go back to all the information. So last night, streaming as usual. And it's
how frequently do you get that high?
I don't. So going to get to that. So I did she said a half a gram per chocolate.
Yeah.
So I did run. Now something that is like gonna trip me out or whatever. So I did one, and whenever I do shrooms or psychedelics, I start getting very introspective, and I start seeing
Connections.
I start seeing connections, and I start seeing patterns, and I start seeing like, this is how you do X. And you talked about all the podcasts, and you talked about all the fucking books, and you talked about all the shows and all this other stuff, and it's like, where do you draw the line in, not draw the line, because that's kind of ignorant, but like, at a certain point in time, the acquisition of knowledge is not the implementation of knowledge.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I'm going to listen to all these podcasts, but I'm not going to fucking use all this information. So what I did last night while I was doing my trip is like, I came up with a list of things that I wanted to do or learn within the next 12 weeks. I use 12 weeks because it's easy, it's chunks, it's like January to March, you know? So it's like, these are the books I'm going to read, I'm going to watch this TV, this is what I'm working on fitness-wise, this is what I'm working on nutritionally, my business, your business, you know. These are the things I'm going to focus on. Mm-hmm. Because if I don't, me personally, if I don't have focus or if I don't have discipline, which is probably my biggest problem, is lack of discipline. Because it's just too easy for me to fuck off and get to Netflix or get to HBO or get to fucking
Super fucking easy.
PS4 or whatever, right? If I don't have discipline, then nothing gets done. And the idea of own it in my head sounds fucking fantastic, but there are little intangibles that make the experience for everybody pleasant, right? You want to go to a gym that's clean. You want to go to a gym that's fun. You want to go to a gym that's like inviting and all this other stuff. And it's like, right now, I have a tendency of looking at the forest and not the trees. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm a forest guy. My wife is a trees guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I want to do X, fuck it.
Yeah.
And I just roll. There's no plan there.
I am the same. And big fucking surprise, right? We're the same. And then our wives are the same. Natalie is all detail. Too much detail. Okay. It drives me fucking crazy.
I don't mind that, because I don't have that skill.
Yeah, but the reason it drives me crazy is when she expects me to think the way she thinks. Mm. And then I'm sure it's just as frustrating when I expect her to think the way I think.
Right.
So, like, we've got to, like, come together on stuff. She lost a ring yesterday.
The wedding?
No.
Oh.
Different ring. And it was like her mother gave it to her, so it's special to her, and so it kind of falls off. When it gets cold, she like puts it on a bigger finger, She just realized it's not on, I don't know where it is. We tore the house apart, we cannot find it. She's beside herself, upset, understandably. We're going to bed, and I was like, I know it really means a lot to you. She's like, that was a $3,000 ring. And I was like, yeah, but of course that's not what's important, it's about your mother. And like that, and she's like, no, it's a $3,000 ring. And I was like, come on, if I gave you $3,000 right now, you'd be perfectly fine. She's like, yeah. I was like, what the fuck? She's like, okay, maybe not. But like, she's like, do you realize how many times a day I count my beans? Like a bean counter, like an accountant. She counts her money all day, every day.
Like money in the bank or money in her pocket?
Both. She knows every penny in our house.
Shit. I don't live like that.
Me neither. And that's why she did our books for so long, because she looks at fucking everything. She loves to. She has spreadsheets upon spreadsheets, and she's constantly looking at work spreadsheets with her sales projections and this and that. She's constantly looking at her personal finances. Like, she knows if she can buy that thing, if she can afford that thing right now, in this moment, or if it's tomorrow. She knows how much tax is taken out of each paycheck and what's the net amount that she actually gets. She knows that shit. Yeah. You and I never do that shit.
I don't live like that.
No, but she can't do the things that we can do. Right. Neither can Amara.
Right.
So don't feel bad for being a visions guy and not a process guy. Like, but you gotta be able to flex both muscles if you're gonna do the gym.
Yeah.
But be a visions guy. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, it's funny. You know, I always talk about my clients a lot. So Saturday I was training John, and I'm like, dude, can I get 45 minutes of your time? You know, if we're talking about time, his time, comparatively
it's
not
expensive time.
It's expensive time, like expensive.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, for you, sure. And I'm like, you know, how do you turn one, Own It or Sequoia, into many. Orange Theory, 24 Hour Fitness. And I was expecting like, oh, you need to raise funding, and you need to have investment, and you need to have all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know what my answer would be, but go ahead.
His number one thing was, he's like, one, the cost per unit per one needs to make sense. And two, you need to find people just as passionate as you about your business, because you can't be everywhere at once.
Mm-hmm. That's the right answer.
And he's like, just imagine, okay, Own It, West Oakland or Sequoia, is fucking gangbusters. Now you have money coming in, you want to open a second one. Do you have the bandwidth to do a second one? Can you spend time fucking shoving West Oakland or East Oakland, go down to Hayward or Marine or wherever?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you gotta find people who are just as passionate about your business. And he's like, that's the hardest thing to do. Fast forward 5 hours, 6 hours, this thing comes up on YouTube, Puff Daddy's meeting with Ray Dalio.
So yeah, I didn't watch it yet. You sent it to me.
It's the same fucking advice.
Yeah.
Find people who are as passionate about you or your business,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't be everywhere at once.
Mm-hmm.
And you need people who are good at things that you're not.
Right.
And I was like, holy shit, that's Samara. She's a process.
Exactly.
That's Natalie. She's
Yep.
a process.
Yep.
Revision. I want hella Own It.
She knows. She wouldn't admit it when she watches this later. If she wanted, if we let our wives watch this.
Yeah.
That she can't do. Like, she admits that she can't do what I can do.
Right.
Right. But she also she'll say it in a different way of saying like, your thing is dumb. Which is like, it is dumb to her. But like, I think looking at your numbers all day is dumb. I
Right.
get it that it's important,
It's
and
important.
she gets that like this is important, like what we can do is important to the business. But yeah, they can't do, and they shouldn't do what we do. And you've got to have a network, you've got to have a team. But about the multiple locations, that's a fucking trap, man. So I thought when we did this, I wanted 3.
Really?
Yeah,
Because I remember you saying specifically,
3.
the second this opens up 2 years in, bam, the next one. Because we had this
Awesome.
conversation.
I thought so.
Right.
All right, but 3 years, I mean, so we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary. It was 3 years ago yesterday that I announced that we were moving from the park to here. So we've been doing this for 3 years. Now, what I truly believe is the best way to make the most money out of this is to be bursting at the seams. The only way I would consider opening another location of this gym, in this iteration, exactly the way it is if we were so full for every class that we had classes all day long, that there's a class going on right now, like all fucking day, 20-person classes, people are getting bumped from one class into the next,
Right.
right? We're capping classes, I'm so sorry. We're bringing in additional coaches to coach two coaches per class,
Mhm.
because it's always so full, and they, maybe we bump up the cap to 25 or 30, and that's all fucking day.
But that changes the message and the workout, right?
Well, it can or can't, it doesn't have to.
Okay.
Like, you can still do small group personal training if it's like 20 people or fewer. But yeah, we would have to have more coaches on hand all the time. We could do the exact same program, still CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
But like having it be just fucking soup to nuts all fucking day. There's just hundreds of people coming through all day, every day.
Crank it.
That's when, and all of that would have to happen with me in Tahiti. Where I can be wherever the fuck I want. I check in, I do a conference call each week, how we doing, how many members did we sign up,
Right.
how many members did we lose, oh we lost 10 but we gained 20, cool. Like those kinds of numbers per week. like we got, everything's going fine, the rent is paid for the next 6 months,
Right.
like all the expenses are paid, payroll, taxes, everyone, I'm making money, pulling dividends out, investors are making money, and I don't have to do a thing except call in and check in, and I'm fucking off doing whatever that
Right.
other else project I want to do, where I'm coaching 0 classes if I want to.
Right.
I'm literally not even here.
Right.
That's when I'm ready for maybe another location.
You said maybe.
Maybe.
Even with
Maybe.
everything you just said. Right.
Because starting another location means new rent, new insurance, new deposits, new equipment,
Coaches, which is
new staff members, all
going back to the passion.
all my
time.
and all my time being sucked over there, right?
Right.
So this has to be completely self-sustaining, because I won't have, because I know what it took to get this to get
Right.
going. I can do it the second time better, but not so well that I can't also be here.
Right.
So like, you can't be in two places at once. So if I'm going to do that, that's going to be a whole other entity. And this has to be a completely self-sustaining entity that is literally just shoving money down my throat.
So how does Orange Theory or Bar Method or Soul
Beer.
Cycle and all those places, how do they do it? Is it because they're corporate and they're like, they just fucking cookie cutter the shit? They have people doing, they have people.
Because there is no owner operator.
No, there's not.
Like maybe someone owns, I don't know the actual structure of everything. Maybe there's like an owner of the franchise or whatever, but it's not some passionate self-starter that like doesn't have anything. No, it's an employee. Like maybe there's someone who owns that location, but there's corporate that owns it all.
Right.
You don't have to figure out anything. Who was it? Stu Brower. What the fuck, Gym Talk?
Yeah.
Just posted, I don't know where he got it. I don't know if he pirated it or what, but he got the handbook from How to Build an Orange Theory. It was literally from Orange Theory. And it was literally like how they lay out a space. Everything. It was like a 30-page. It was basically just like your standards, your SOPs.
So it's a
but
franchise.
for the actual, it's a franchise. But for their actual location, it's like, hey, if you're built like this, then it's like this. But if you have a narrow setup, then it's going to be like this. And it's literally so people don't do stupid shit like put too many treadmills or too many rowers or whatever. But it's just like their standards, and they have a 30-page document that they probably edit every once in a while. But they can just be like, oh, you want to sign up for a franchise? Great, it's going to cost this down, and these are your commitments, and here's how you do it.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
Not figure it out, not how do I get a CUP, just, here you go, we did it, we did the work for you. We're taking a shit ton of the money as a result, but we're also going to just hand you clients because we're Orange Theory.
Right.
And it takes, it either takes money, mostly money.
Yeah.
Money, luck, timing, good strategy. You know, there's nothing wrong with Orange Theory. They're doing the right thing at the right time. Soul Cycle, same thing.
Right.
Barry's Boot Camp, F45. But what all those
But
things...
they all started, F45 started like you and I, right?
I don't know how they started.
So they started in Southern California, and they saw the wave of functional fitness.
Yeah, but what we're doing differently, whether you're a CrossFit or not, or you're any sort of micro gym like ours, like one location, is that it's all about the personal connection.
Right.
Okay? F45, there is no personal connection. You might be connected to the coach that's there, but the coach is an employee and they're going to leave at some point. Like, I am this business. You are Oda. Like, that's it. And so it's you won't just walk away from it.
Right.
You wouldn't just hand it to someone else. If someone came in here and just offered me cash for this, I don't think I'd sell. Because I love it.
Yeah.
Like, it's my child.
What would you do? Like, shit.
I mean, look, there's a price for everything. Like, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, I mean, this is about a person, and that's why people like these businesses, because it's not the cookie cutter thing.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't think I'll ever make another one.
Really?
Not like this. I might do a 24-hour access kind of Planet Fitness kind of option.
Machines and stuff, or just...
Yeah. Like, I don't think machines are evil. They have, like, a place. I probably wouldn't have, like, quite what 24-hour fitness has.
Right.
I certainly wouldn't have bagel
Well, if you
Mondays and
think
Pizza
about it.
Fridays, but, like...
That business model is fucking fantastic.
It's fantastic. And I do believe in the principle that, like, anything... The enemy is not Planet Fitness. The enemy is being sedentary. It's sitting on your fat ass watching reality TV and eating garbage.
Right.
That's bad. Anything that's not that is okay. You know, to good, to great.
Well, yeah, and so going back to the beginning of this whole thing is like, how do you manage all the information, right? How do you manage somebody saying, do Zumba, or do CrossFit, or do Soul Cycle, or do Bar Method, and then there's a podcast that comes out, and it's like, I would say I was getting burnt out on information, because it's like, you already see people who have established their own lane, right?
Yeah.
They did the work, they did their thing, and now people are coming to them. Zumba, whatever, right? And you and I, being small business owners, is all this information. It's like, this is how you do it. And then 5 minutes later, this is how you don't do it.
Right.
And it's like, shit. So
it's overwhelming.
That's why I had to like fucking start culling a lot of my information. And it sounds ignorant, but I tell you this, like, up until 6 months ago, I was completely enamored by like all the fucking Trump shit, and then I'm just like, I'm over this.
Enamored by what Trump shit? Just like
It's
what he's
just
saying?
like every fucking 5 minutes, some news or podcast or anybody with a fucking phone was just like Trump, and I'm like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Well,
And it's like I needed to become willfully ignorant, and I'm willfully ignorant. I know I am willfully ignorant.
I don't think that's true.
Like I can't listen to NPR anymore.
Huh.
I just can't.
Yeah.
I used to like NPR. I can't do it.
I only listen on the way into work each day.
Right.
Natalie has it playing all day long, but they say a lot of the same things over and over again. I mostly listen to like world news, California report, like what's going on in the world, just a little bit.
Right.
I know what you're saying though.
You know, it's like, so I sat down streaming, and I'm like, what do I want to accomplish in 3 weeks or in 12 weeks? And it's like, what books do I want to read? What shows do I want to watch?
Mm-hmm.
What, who do I want to spend time with outside of my wife? No, not women. Relax. Who do I want to spend time with? You, my brother. Select a group of people, and I think in this day and age, you have to tailor the amount of information you get.
Yeah. Well, money sucks. I fucking hate money. I look forward to when our species is post money, which that's going to happen before we upload ourselves to the cloud. It's like we won't have. It'll be like Star Trek. In Star Trek, there's no money.
It's gonna be a lot of fucking, bro.
Yeah. But even that's gonna get boring.
Have you ever been bored of fucking?
Yes. I have. Like, I just can't fuck anymore. No, but I think because there's so much money to be made on people's attention. That's all they want is your attention.
Right.
Because they're trying to get you to buy shit that you don't need or want. It's like that line from Fight Club. Buying shit you don't need with money you don't have.
To impress people you don't like.
Yeah, whatever. Is that Fight Club?
That is Fight Club.
Yeah.
Favorite movie.
Yeah.
Book.
Fucking great. Right, the book's even better. I was actually thinking about Fight Club this weekend too. Self-improvement is masturbation. Self-destruction. But we'll get back to that. But no, you've got to be selective about your content, about like what it is you're taking in, because you can't take it all in, because a lot of it is fucking garbage, right?
Right.
And we like garbage because it's easy and we don't have to try hard, we don't have to think hard, and we get tired, right? And some of us are stupid, like humans, like
Yeah.
some of us are just fucking dumb, and some of us voted for Donald Trump, so there's that, but. You shouldn't feel guilty because you're editing. Like you've got to edit. By definition, editing what you take in and being conscious about it, being intentional about it, is a good thing.
Right.
Right. So like, don't feel bad. Right. And if you say like, I can't listen to today's 24-hour news cycle bullshit about Donald Trump, great. That's probably good. I subscribe to The Correspondent, which is actually I should send you the thing for that.
Yes.
Because they don't do the 24-hour news cycle. I saw them on The Daily Show. They send out one email a day, and it's like, it's world news. It's never like, what's the latest tweet from the president?
Yeah.
And a lot of they're based in Europe. I saw them on the Daily Show a long time ago because they were trying to raise funds. They did like a Kickstarter to be this independent newspaper that was like really, really intentional about like it's kind of like 60 Minutes, where it's like one news story. We're really going to dive deep about this stuff and not just be this salacious, quick nonsense. And it's really good. And I don't read it every day, I at least go through the headlines each day and like, well, how aware are you of like the drama with Brexit right now and Boris Johnson and
Just
having a
winning.
big win recently and like how is Brexit going to really affect the global economy? Like that's a big fucking deal. We're worried about like is Donald Trump cyberbullying the Greta Van what's her name? Like yes he is, and does that matter as much as fucking like Britain leaving the EU and like what is that going to mean? No, it's not as important. So like that kind of thing like edits me down a little bit.
Okay.
But you've got to do that. You've absolutely got to do that.
How do you edit your knowledge? Like, how do you edit, like, okay, this is the book I want to read, and damn the consequences if these other books are, like, being recommended left and right, and...
I don't do it well.
Okay.
I don't have the answer. I feel guilty about it, too, because I feel like I have my standbys, and, like, I find people that I like. Like, I really like a lot of the stuff Rogan puts out. And I try to listen to the stuff that like isn't as interesting, but frankly, like my time is precious. Everyone's time is precious.
Who puts out?
What's that?
Who puts out?
Rogan.
Yeah.
You have your thing?
Yeah, I gotta take this call real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. He said he'll call me in 45. So.
Oh, perfect. So like Rogan puts out interesting stuff about like that I'm interested in, and like yes, he introduces me to new stuff, but also it's like, you know, things about tough men being tougher, and I didn't really want to listen too much to the Tulsi Gabbard one, but I'm glad I did. It was like Tulsi and Jocko Willink.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay, so I learned a little bit there. It was like, it wrote me in, and I listened to the whole thing, and so that was really good and educational. But like, and I also try to listen to Dan Greenfield and Tim Ferriss. Like, I've got my standbys.
Right.
But then sometimes I want something fun and light, and so I'm listening to like I listen to Conan O'Brien. His podcast is really funny.
I heard he had a podcast.
Yeah, and it's really funny and sweet and like very benign, and he's interviewing like celebrities that are also funny, and so it's just popcorn. It's good to like work out to because I can sit there and just sort of giggle while I run.
Do you have like a fear of missing out though? Like, oh my god,
Totally.
I missed this, I missed that. And
I got a whole list of great classics that I want to read, and I have them all in my Kindle.
Yeah.
And I don't read them.
So okay, let's talk about that. Because I think most people, including myself, suffer from that. Because you know, if you look at my bookshelf at home, it's filled with books. I probably read a third of them.
It's not bad actually.
You look at my iPad, there's probably 1,000+ books in it. What is that?
See those books?
Yeah.
I think I read the one on the right.
What is that? What is the acquisition of knowledge, but not even the implementation, the ingestion? Like we buy the stuff, but we don't ingest it.
Because it's best laid plans, right?
How do you?
The road to hell is paved with best laid plans.
How do you get around that? How do you like fuck it? I'm gonna buy this book. I'm gonna read this.
It's the
book.
nature of discipline, right? Isn't it the essential thing of discipline? Everybody knows how to do it. Can know how to do a thruster. It's not that hard.
Right.
Like, okay, now fucking do it. Go to .com, CrossFit.com. It's got a workout. It's got instruction. Tell you exactly what to do. Right? Maybe you need a couple of little form correction. You don't realize you're doing something wrong. But everybody can do that. So why is the nation not walking around with 8-packs? Because we're lazy. We're undisciplined to some extent. Because it takes time and energy and resources, and time is the only resource we really have. Money just buys you more time.
Right.
But everybody's got the same 24 every day. And if you don't have to worry about making money because you've got the money, or you've earned the money, or your money's already making itself, or whatever else, then you free up more of your time and more of this stuff. Or you chuck it all and you become a monk and you live on some fucking mountaintop somewhere and you just train fucking kung fu.
Alright, so what is your idea of discipline then?
Doing what you know, like actually doing what you know you should do, I guess. I mean, what's the dictionary definition of discipline?
Because we had our
The practice of training people to obey rules. Oh, that's disciplining someone else. Self-discipline, I guess, is really what we're looking for. The act of training people to obey rules or code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. That took a turn, didn't it?
Yeah.
Activity or experience that provides mental or physical training. So that's like, oh, my discipline of this. A system of rules of conduct. How about self-discipline?
I like a system of rules.
Self-discipline, the ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses, the ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptations to abandon it. There you go. The ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptations to abandon it. I mean, that says everything.
Okay, so
you don't have to actually achieve it, but you have to pursue it.
So here's the thing that I, as a 39-year-old man going on 40, still find fascinating, right? We all have the best intentions. I'm going to read this book. I'm going to work out 6 days a week. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And these are things that you yourself have set forth. Like, nobody said you got to have to do these things. Nobody said to work out 6 days a week. Nobody said to stop watching TV all this fucking time. Why is it so difficult to be a disciplined individual?
Temptation.
Well, but most of the people that we look up to, successful people, you know, they always revert back to discipline or practice, or basically it's discipline just using another word.
Right.
So we know the formula, right? It's like,
right,
do the shit.
Right.
Whatever the shit is, do the shit.
Right.
So why is it so hard to do the shit?
Well, I think that human being, our nature as humans is to do the easiest possible thing. Is to be as efficient as possible, right?
Right.
To do as little work as we possibly can to achieve the same result.
Mm.
I mean, that's everything.
That's
that
right.
we've ever done since we were swinging in trees till we were building a better iPhone. We want to do it better, faster, and more efficiently. Use fewer resources to achieve the same result. Right? So we want to be fitter. Same thing. Yeah, we want to be efficient with our bodies, with what we can do with them. You know, we're not trying to waste food.
Right.
You know, we're trying to eat the exact appropriate amount of food so that we sustain lean muscle mass and a lack of body fat to perform our tasks.
So do you think...
And so by the same rationale, you need to digest the information that you need to most efficiently achieve your life. Do you need to have a deep understanding of quantum physics to be a successful man?
No.
So don't read about fucking quantum physics. Don't waste your time. It would literally be a waste of your resources, a waste of your only resource, which is time.
I think my question is, if we know what needs to be done, because if you're a halfway intelligent person, you know what needs to be done, and you know how to do it. So why don't you do it? Case in point.
Because we're lazy.
Huh?
Because we're lazy.
Shit.
And you started this whole thing talking about essentially saying that you feel lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I do too sometimes.
Right. Well, last week you said you feel like a teenager. A teenager, you said, what did you say?
What did I say? Was it profound?
It was profound. You're like, I feel like a grown...
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't feel like a man.
Okay.
I feel like a fucking kid. I feel like a large kid.
So is that because of lack of discipline, or
Yes.
is that because we have a lot of
Partly.
toys?
Oh, no, it's not about toys. I don't feel like I have that many toys these days. I think that's more about maturity. I feel like that's more about, like, I feel like I should have, by this age, by 40, figured out more than I feel like I actually have figured out. But I think also that that's just really because when you're a kid, you think your parents have their shit together, and they really don't.
Right.
And I only figured out like this year that my parents started having their shit together and never really did. You know, that's the truth, is that like parents don't have their shit together. They may have it better together than you do because you're a fucking child.
Right.
But like at some point there's a transition when we're all in the same playing field, and you can sit there and you go look at your parents and you go, "Oh, you guys are fucked up." Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, "Okay, that's fair. Like you're fucked up." Natalie talks about how she figured that out early on with her family. and then she figured out that she was smarter than her parents really early on. And she's very smart. I don't know that I'm necessarily smarter than my parents, because my parents are very, very smart. But like, I definitely, like, you take them off of that pedestal a little bit. So maybe that's all that feeling is like, I feel like I'm a child still, because I feel like I should be smarter, better.
Do you think your parents would be where they are if they were, if all the toys and niceties that we have now were available back then? You know, Instagram, Facebook, fucking food delivery, you know.
Hard to say. Hard to say if the world would be a better place if we didn't have Instagram and Facebook. I don't know.
I hate to come off like a fucking boomer, like, oh my god, it's because of the fucking phones. Because, you know,
it has an effect.
Instagram and Twitter and Reddit and Facebook are fucking fascinating, because it's like,
we've never seen it.
At the tip of your fingers, you can get any piece of information that you want.
Yeah.
Any piece of
just about.
Right? Shit. If you wanted to, you could learn how to build a bomb. Right? Because it's out there.
You know I have a member that builds bombs, right?
There you go. See, right?
Yeah, but, like, for the government. Like, he's got clearance and shit. He told me that if you wanted to, you could find it all online. Like, but if you look at this one website over here that tells you how to do this part, and this one website over here that tells you this part, you get flagged. If you then go to this website that tells you how to do this part, then you're fucked. They're gonna come. They're coming because there's only one. You might find these two.
Right.
But the only reason that you're gonna find these two and then that one is because you're building it.
Right.
And they're coming. They're knocking on your door.
Fucking knocking.
Yeah. So if you think that they're not listening,
of course.
I'm in private mode. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, get out of here. But do you think your parents would have their shit together? Because, like,
no, frankly, no more or less than we do.
I kind of disagree, because I think we have more time.
Well, they would theoretically have that time.
I think we should be able to have our stuff a little bit more together, because, you know, we have the ability and the resources to have more time. Case in point.
Okay, I got the retort for this, but go ahead.
Amara, she subscribes to Instacart, and I'm like, why would you do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But then she was like, think about it. You drive to a Safeway or whatever the fuck, you park, you walk around the grocery store,
way too much time.
You stand in line, then you drive back home, and then you fucking unpack the groceries. And then Instacart has this fucking feature that is fascinating. It tells you how many hours you have saved by using Instacart. Last time we checked, it was 85 hours that we saved using Instacart.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think if your parents had an extra 85 hours, they would be in a different position? Or they could read more books? Or...
No, we won't. We Americans spend 37 minutes a day preparing food.
Okay.
Wait. In food preparation and cleanup. There was a good graph for this that I saw. It's basically we spend drastically less time feeding ourselves than we used to. Let's see if I can find the actual numbers. The numbers don't really matter. But compared to, just in principle, you spend about let's just call it an hour of your day.
Mm-hmm.
Between breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and everything, preparing and cleaning up for food. Not eating it, but eating takes relatively little. Right? But a generation ago, because they didn't have these efficiencies, it took 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
A generation before that, it took 4 hours.
Right.
Okay, so let's just say that those are the numbers, all right? So if we're saving from 4 hours, so like, you know,
hunting, gathering,
and of your waking hours,
right.
You have 16 waking hours, essentially, and 4 of those, are a quarter of your time awake, is spent just staying alive. Bottom of the pyramid, right? Food. And now we're spending so much little time. You would think, oh, well, I'm saving 3 hours a day, so I'm going to put all that towards all these healthy things. No. We fill it with nonsense. We fill it with leisure. We fill it with scrolling endlessly on Instagram. And so, yes, we could stop doing Instacart and go back to old school, go to the grocery store, or go hunt your food, right? Which has its benefits, but then we rationally wouldn't have as much time for other things as well. Or we can be hyper efficient with our food, which we most likely will be, and then we have to have the discipline with those remaining extra hours, that extra space that we've created, to use it towards something else valuable that we decide is valuable, not temptation to watch garbage TV, read garbage things online, whatever else. But do we do that? No.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. We haven't. I mean, in order to make a phone call, you used to have to find your Rolodex. Remember Rolodexes?
Yeah.
You had to go through there and all right, Jane, get her out her card, and then dial, and whatever. Now I'm just like, call Jane. It's just like, whatever. But those few seconds or minute or whatever that we save, we don't then apply towards more efficiency. We just shove more work. We're more productive. We do more.
We're more productive.
We communicate really, really well now by any standard. Like people, I had one member today, between last night and today, call me, text me, email me, Facebook message me, like got a piece of information to me 4 different ways within like 5 minutes. I was like, damn, back off.
Ding, 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 ding. Like, wow.
But she wanted to make sure I got the information. It was super easy. That used to take, you have to write a letter and all this stuff and wait for weeks. I must cancel my membership. You know, what time is can I drop in next week? You know, that shit doesn't happen anymore. So yeah, we cram more work in and we cram more leisure in, but we have to have the discipline to cram more valuable stuff in. More reading, more whatever. And that's why it used to be way more interesting to be like well-read and this Renaissance man, and most people were just boring merchants and whatever, and just lived and died and didn't do much. Now we can all be smarter than everybody in the entire Renaissance period was, because we can have all this extra information. Like, we can get there. It's just, do we do it? No, we're fucking Wall-E. We're given the chance. We're gonna sit in our Barca lounger, floating around in space and being fed fucking garbage food.
How do you combat that?
Discipline.
So, what is your like?
And before you ask that question, why do we feel so badly? Why are you and I worried about this? Because, and you think that you're undisciplined. I think I'm undisciplined about a lot of things. But so many people look at us and they go, Jesus, look at those guys. They fucking work out and they're cultivating their friendship and, you know, they're doing all these things and they can deadlift how much, they can do what. Like, if we wanted to, we could pretty much handle just about any physical task right now. We wouldn't win the marathon, but we could get through 26.2 miles right now, no problem.
We'll figure it out.
Plenty of motherfuckers couldn't do any of that shit. They're just walking down the street. Like, they got no chance. They're gonna die. Like, we are already in the top percentiles of all this. And we're upset with ourselves that we're not in higher percentiles. That we're not reading more. People aren't even asking these questions of themselves. How can I read more classic literature? You think the guy in line in front of you at Walmart gives a fuck about Moby Dick?
No, he
doesn't know what the fuck a Moby Dick is. So, why are we bitching about this? Why is this our existential crisis?
Because we know better.
Okay.
You know, the tragedy of knowledge is you don't know what you know. You know, you don't know what you don't know. And you always want to know more, and you always want to do more. And I think in the social media era, you see people living these fantastic lives. The lives, granted, it's all image, the lives that you would like to live, You know, the fucking 6-pack abs and the books and the, you know, there's a bunch of these guys on fucking Instagram and YouTube, like, you know, like the Yes Theory guys, you know, whatever. Like, oh, I'm gonna jump out of the plane, and then I'm gonna read this book, and then I'm gonna fucking do this charity, and boom, 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 right? And it's like, shit, how are they doing it? How are they doing all that cool shit?
They broke out of the cycle saying, I can't, I have to do this thing. They stopped telling themselves the bullshit story that was keeping them down. We're all telling ourselves a story. I have a good quote in here about stories. It's something about like, everyone's telling themselves, you've told yourself this story as to why you have to be this way.
Right.
Why you are. There are some things you can't change, right? Who you physically are, things like that. I mean, you can adjust it, but like, whatever. CRISPR isn't 100% yet. We can't change our genes. We are who we are, to some extent. But there's a story of like, I have to be this way. And we try to do that every day when as coaches, we're trying to tell people, you don't have to eat this way, fatty. Mm-hmm. You don't have to eat ice cream. You don't have to have dessert with every meal. You don't have to. You think you have to, but it's not true. Oh, so she likes it. No sudden movements. Yeah, exactly. All right, Fran, get out of here. But you're telling yourself some sort of bullshit story that's holding you back. But if you just stop telling yourself that story, you choose for that no longer to be the story, mm-hmm. then what's possible? And the answer is anything's fucking possible.
Right.
I mean, we're not going to suddenly be Neo and flying and dodging bullets, but yeah. So that's part of what I want to figure out with mushrooms, because I feel like I could do better with discipline. And if I can manage to break myself out of the cycle of I have to do this at this time of day, or I have to whatever, or I can't ever do this. And we do this in relationships too. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to fight this way because I can't let her get one over on me like that, because whatever, my identity is tied to that.
Right.
But if you could just separate your ego from that and just say like, I don't have to be any way I don't want to be. And does this thing work for me? And that's my understanding of like what psychedelics do for you, is if like, I'm a smoker, I have to smoke. Why?
Right.
Well, because I do. Well, separate yourself from it, and they do that with like, I can't remember I think it was mushrooms was really the effective one for breaking yourself out of the smoking habit. And you sit there saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to tell myself this story anymore. Great. Therapy and a guided psilocybin trip, and you can simply detach yourself from your ego, just be like, just looking at yourself and just say like, I don't want to be a smoker anymore. I'm not telling myself that story anymore. I choose to no longer tell myself the story that I have to smoke. Trip ends, you're not a smoker anymore, and it fucking works. It's the same thing about PTSD and MDMA. I am telling myself a story about like every time I hear a loud noise, it reminds me of the gunshots that when I was in war, and it fucking terrifies me, and I can't even look at it because I'm in it. As soon as I hear the fireworks go off, I'm there and I'm distraught and I'm fucked up for a week, all right? And you detach yourself from that, you talk about and you think about that event, be like, great, that happened, it's not happening now, it's in the past, it's never gonna happen to me again, I'm safe, I'm fine, I don't have to behave that way anymore. You make a choice. And literally like with one fucking trip, these guys can be fucking over the PTSD, just done.
Right.
Now the traumatic brain injury is still there because they got fucked up.
Right.
They got blown the fuck up. But like now you don't have to deal with the psychosis of it. So if you can do that without psychedelics, fuck yeah, man. And we already do that in small little steps. Mm-hmm. We do that for our clients all the time. But the psychedelics apparently give you that jump to say like, hey, you really don't want to do it anymore? You really want to be this one way? Be this way. That's it. That's all there is to it.
So, I told you during my trip, I came up with this list of things and the books I'm going to read and how I'm going to work out and be a better husband and a better father and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, What I'm trying to find, going back to seeking, but not going back. Going on like
Always what we're talking about.
Is like, what's my lesson in discipline? What's the anchor? You know, I talk about The Rock a lot, but he has this thing.
Like Dwayne The Rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he has this thing that he always talks about, the anchor to his day, right? For him, it's working out, right? Granted, it's not an excuse. We all could work out some way, shape, or form first thing in the morning. We could do squats, burpees, pull-ups, kettlebell swings, or whatever. For him, it's working out.
Right.
His anchor to the day is hitting some weights, right? Yes, he has the resources to not get up early to go to work and sit in traffic and all that other bullshit, but like, I think I need, and this was made glaringly clear to me while streaming, I need an anchor. I need something that triggers a set of responses. Like, if I do X, then Y, Z, A, B, C, D, everything else flows. Granted, real life happens. You know, you may not wake up early on time. Your kids might be sick. But whatever. If I could get 80%, 85% adherence to this anchor or to this ritual or to whatever I think, whatever it comes out to be, it'll show me some light that I could be a disciplined individual.
I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit for the fact that fitness already is your anchor. You do work out regularly. Maybe you don't work out as much as you want, and maybe Dwayne doesn't work out as much as he wants.
Right.
All right? He probably does.
You probably does.
It's probably good. Again, resources, time, money buys you time. But you already do work out regularly.
Right.
Like, you are healthy. You know, well, I mean, colds notwithstanding, you're not decrepit by any means.
No, I'm not.
Right? We're all on that spectrum, the sickness wellness continuum. But yeah, you want to be better. So how do you sharpen that skill? How do you become more disciplined to achieve more throughout your day and get better? And I think you got to start by letting yourself off the hook a little bit and saying like, no, I'm already doing really fucking well. Like, I'm already doing X, Y, and Z. You got to remind yourself.
Yeah. Amara says the same thing. She's like, why do you beat yourself up so much?
Natalie says the same thing to me.
Because I have this image in my head.
Me too.
The image in my head.
Yeah.
And the image in the mirror.
Mm.
Not the physical image in the mirror, but like, you know, the image in your head and the image in like your bank account or your body or your fitness. It doesn't align. And you're like, and you're trying to press these two motherfuckers together and you're like, you need to land up to make this happen. And I think it sets me up for disappointment because it's like, you know, if you did we all did the fucking create your perfect day, your perfect week, your perfect year, right? Mm-hmm. And that doesn't line up.
So what do you have to do to get there?
A lot of things.
Okay, so you just gotta, like, the thing, I'm 100% with you, and I get bogged down the exact same thing. Natalie, last night, said something to me, and I was like, nah. And I was like, nah, just like grabbing my belly.
Right?
Like, not feeling so good. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, this is what I'm talking about. She's like, you're out of your fucking mind. And I was like, I know what you're saying, but like, you're wrong. I was like, you're wrong because I don't want, like, I'm over 200. I gotta weigh myself this week, but like, I'm around 200 pounds. I shouldn't be. I should be 15 pounds lighter, and it's just body fat, and I want to get the fuck rid of it. I want to lean the fuck up because I felt pretty good about my 40th birthday, and then this thing slipped a little bit more. Yeah. Look, I know I've gotten bigger. I'm bigger and stronger, more muscular than I've ever been. So like, cool. But like, I want other things too. I want a fucking six-pack. I just want to be the dude that walks around with a six-pack. That's it.
Right.
I've never been that dude. I had to work my ass off to get there, hold it for like a week, and then like, fuck. I just can't do it.
Well, you know.
So like, yeah, like, and I know what I need to do. I need to do fucking obnoxious, boring fucking cardio. Intervals and shit like that. So yesterday, my workout was 5 rounds for time of 35 double unders and a 200-meter sprint. And I wanted to die. I did not enjoy it. I did it. And that was a good step. And then today, I'm going to try to de-emphasize as much as it's fucking deadlift day, and it's going to be, 1 rep max day.
Yeah.
I'm going to try that, work hard on that, but try to not focus on the deadlift part, and instead focus on part 2, which is kettlebell swings and burpees. Fucking obnoxious, stupid, I don't want to fucking do it. It's not sexy or fun or interesting to me in the least, and I'm going to be worse at it than I want to be. But the truth of the matter is, I will probably have the fastest score of the time of the gym. I will probably do it harder and faster than anybody else in this gym, and I'll still be disappointed with myself.
What I acknowledge or what I've come to know about discipline, and I think everybody who's a disciplined individual could agree or would agree, it's fucking boring.
It's boring as shit. It's so fucking boring to be disciplined.
Right. Jocko has a quote, discipline equals freedom. And I see what he means, and it makes so much sense. Like, if you have your ducks in a row, you have more time to do the other shit. Read the books and do the workouts and...
Freedom?
Huh?
Discipline equals freedom, huh?
Right.
Oh, that's hard, man.
Well,
that's rough.
Think about it.
That's
If you
his book,
know...
huh? Discipline equals freedom, field manual.
If you know, okay, every day I get up at, let's say 4:30, without fail, right?
Mm-hmm.
It creates some room for you to say yes or no to certain things. If you know I work out 6 days a week, and this is how I eat, the complicated shit of like your diet, your workout, when you get up, all that other stuff, it's taken out of like the decision-making tree. It's like, when do you get up? I get up every day at 4:30. What do you eat? I eat 50 grams of protein. Boom, boom, boom. When do you train? I train at this time every day, right? I believe there's some truth in that quote where it's like discipline equals freedom, because you have taken steps out of your day, out of your life. You're just taking it out. It's going to happen because this is what you do, right? If you find a better way to do something, then, you change up the routine a little bit, you edit, pull out, put it back in. But I do believe that quote has some power to it.
I agree. I'm just reading the synopsis of what he says too.
Yeah. It's like, but it is boring.
One of the best mental disciplines for people to implement is simply putting together a schedule or a task list and actually executing it. Write the list or schedule the night before and then do what you said you would do.
Right?
Instead of avoiding weaknesses, try attacking it. Don't like running? Go run. Uncomfortable speaking in groups? Volunteer to teach a class of work. Etc., etc., etc. Another thing he's talking about being uncomfortable. Like, that's one of the things I'm trying to do also is, like, that's what the cold shower does for me. It's like, I'm starting my day with something uncomfortable. Like, especially right now when it's cold outside.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, I do not want to get it. Like, I get up, so every day I get up at 5.
Okay.
And I have the same routine so that I can, like, be groggy and still waking up and still execute it. And it's literally like, swing my legs over the side of the bed, put on my sweatpants, put on my slippers. My alarm goes off at 5. The house alarm automatically turns off at 5:01. All right, so by the time I get down to the back door, herding all of the 4 fucking dogs with me, the alarm is off. I can open the door, let them out. They go pee. I feed all the dogs. I come back inside. Like, it's very robotic and very mechanized the entire time. But then it all culminates to like, now it's time to hop in the shower. And sit there and I'll stare at that fucking shower. I'll be like, I do not want to get into this cold fucking shower today. I want to take a nice warm shower. I'm going to keep waking up gently. Like, but if I do that, I'm fine. If I never fail. I never don't take my cold shower.
Really?
Never don't take it. Because I feel like if I don't, like, there's something like innate in me that if I don't do it, then I'm pussed out already for the day, and the entire day's a fucking waste. But if I can take a cold shower,
case in point, the anchor, right? You have this thing
Maybe
that starts your day, and
Maybe
it's
that's my
like,
anchor.
if you hit, right? For the Rockets working out, for you it's a cold shower, for me it's meditating and stretching.
Yep.
If I hit, my day feels a lot more productive.
Yeah.
Like this Saturday, I didn't feel too good because the girls in the goddamn colds or whatever. And I was like, I'm just gonna lay in bed and rest just to feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
And my whole day was wonky. It was like, I was like, I said I should have just went downstairs, did my thing, and hit the anchor. So it's like, okay, we're capable of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
But where do you, I don't know, what's the question? It's like, we're capable of discipline, but where do we like,
Why are we not doing it?
why are we missing on certain things? Because you just said you never miss a cold shower.
Because we're still practicing. We're still improving. Because we don't have it all figured out. And probably we never will have it all figured out.
So, Amara and I did so I told her, I was like, babe, I like to know where I'm going. And granted, life can change like that. Shit. Like San Bruno a couple of years ago, I was sitting at home and the whole street blew up. Like,
Yeah.
You don't control that.
Yes.
Right? But what I do want to control is where do we go? Where do we go as a family? Where do we go as a couple? Where do we go as an individual? And I'm like, I need a roadmap. Like, I need something to let us know what we're doing. I don't want to just get up and just exist, and all of a sudden we're 80 and it's like shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought some big fucking the
Dry erase boards or whiteboards?
the paper that you flip.
Oh yeah, flip charts.
Yeah, but we bought that and we just wrote down all the things we wanted to accomplish in like 15 years.
Okay.
Right? There's a number of things on there, but surprisingly, we were off about 3 things.
Mm-hmm. Big things?
No, not even big things. Just like where we wanted to live, how successful do we want? Oh, how many properties we want to have? High class property, and one other thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that was fantastic. I was like, if this is our roadmap for the next 15 years, like these are the things we want to accomplish. And he had everything like vacations and things to do with the kids and what kind of school we want the kids to go to and all this other stuff. And I looked at that whole list and it was like, all of this is discipline. All of it.
Life is discipline.
But it's boring.
But it's boring.
How do you interject fun into discipline?
I mean, you can make like a workout fun. Like you can if you can
Well,
do
the
that, like
workouts
all
are
that.
fun, like the community aspect, like we
Like
work
that.
out.
I'm
we
just
sweat together.
trying to think of like examples. Like I don't think discipline is fun. I think that's the whole point. It's not. I don't know if it's necessarily the antithesis, but it ain't fun. It's not supposed to be fun. Why should everything be fun?
That is very true.
We had
a lot of fun.
We are soft.
I would agree. I
Right.
was gonna be like, fuck you, but I was like, I would agree.
Our species, we're fucking soft, man.
I would say the westernized male is very soft. Well, the westernized population is very soft.
I mean, we don't have to work very hard to get everything that we've got.
No.
Like the world's pretty fucking good. It's gotten pretty fucking easy. I mean, a generation ago, we couldn't probably even really be friends. All right?
Depends where we were.
Depends where we were, but like you couldn't have the things you have. Your wife is literally like breaking down barriers right now.
Right.
With her career and everything like that. So like things are better than they've ever been by a lot of measures. But we've lost the hardness, and that's what we're seeking. Like people didn't use, people have always had these like rites of passage that we're talking about trying to create and all this, but like they didn't have these crises because they're too busy just fucking living.
Exactly.
Like just living took so much energy and so many resources. I read this whole thing about like the obesity epidemic, and they're talking about cake. Like we can go out here, we can eat cake 7 days a week, easy.
Every day.
It's everywhere. All right. Like not even 100 years ago, you got one cake a year. Your birthday.
Yeah.
You didn't even have, like, there wasn't like a ton of cake everywhere for everybody all the time. You couldn't afford it. Sugar's expensive.
Yeah, I think somebody just threw out, like, the average American eats like 80 pounds of sugar a year or
It's
something.
insane.
Like, that is insane.
Think about like women's fashion. This was another one I thought about. It's like the white wedding dress, that whole thing. That's not always been a thing. All right, that's in the last 50 years.
Right.
The whole wedding industry didn't exist for our great grandparents. Like maybe they got married in a white dress, maybe.
Right.
All right, mostly Europeans too. But like it was like the nicest thing you had, and they didn't necessarily spend a fucking ton of money on rings and all that stuff. Sometimes the men wouldn't even wear a ring. A lot of times the women didn't either. Like in Europe, it's not a thing still.
Right.
Like all this is marketing bullshit because it's easy to get a ring and it's easy to get a dress and it's easy to have a fucking party. And so every woman thinks that they're supposed to have this fucking Queen of England fucking wedding. And so there's a whole fucking industry. Now we just came back from this conference. There's literally like $1 million parties that they threw to show what they can do for other people. This woman said her average wedding price was $300,000 that she booked. So it's like, we think that this is the standard. It's not the human standard. We think that like the access to food, I got fucking salmon in here, all right? I have salmon all the fucking time. We didn't used to always just be able to have salmon whenever we fucking wanted to.
No.
Like, everything's just gotten so easy.
That's always my argument for vegan. I was like, seasonality is a thing.
Yeah.
Stuff doesn't grow all the time.
Yeah, well, you want to crush a vegan and their environmental impact because you ask them where they got their tropical fruit from in the middle of winter.
I'm just saying.
That's a delicious smoothie. Those strawberries look fantastic. Where'd you get them?
Yeah, in the continental
They were fucking shipped to you. Do you know how many fucking resources it took to get them shipped to you? Fuck you.
Yeah. That's another show.
Yeah. Fuck vegans. Yeah. No, I mean, well, yeah, kind of. Fuck militant anybody.
Yeah, carnivores too. They're a little fucking
goofy. All. But my point is, with all of this, is that it's so fucking easy to get like food and information and money. It's easy to get money. Fucking easy.
Yeah.
Compared to years ago, not that long ago, our parents' time. Look, you can argue about tax policy and all this other stuff, but let's just be real. It has never been easier to be as successful as we are. We are, by our standards, like, we're doing fine.
Yeah.
Middle class somewhere in there. That's a broad category. By medieval standards, we are wealthy.
We're lords.
Right?
Right.
And so
a fucking car and take me from A to B.
We can read. Like all sorts of stuff. So, like, it's fucking better than it's ever been, and we want more. Yes, you can deadlift 450 or whatever your last max was that you did last. I saw you fucking pulling triples at 450, I think, or whatever it was.
Something like that.
Right, and you want more. It's
Right.
like, yeah, but like that used to not be possible for you or for other people to do those things at all. So we're already peaking. We're already doing better. Why aren't we just satisfied? Why aren't we done? Like, because we want more. We always want more, but like part of it's got to be like, I'm not as disciplined as I want to be. Like, sure, pursuing more, great. Like, let's sharpen. Let's fucking like what was it, like iron sharpens iron, that kind of expression. Like, yeah, let's get better at the things we want to get better at, of course. But also, like, check yourself and just be like, hey, I'm really good. Really good. I'm really good at fathering. We're both good dads.
Yeah.
We're both good husbands. Doesn't mean we don't struggle with stuff still and think about stuff still. But, like, we're good at this. So chill the fuck out.
But here's the thing. When you say chill the fuck out, you and I have been around some extremely wealthy people. And you see the product of you see the product of them not chilling for that, right? Like, you see the big houses and you see the vacation homes and boom, boom, bam, or whatever. And I don't, here's the thing, I don't know if I want all that. I really don't. Because on one hand, the people that I know that have these things, they seem very happy.
Keep going.
But on one hand, it's
Talk
like,
it out.
On one hand, they don't seem very fulfilled.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, how do you...
Why?
What is enough? What is enough? What's
Why?
that? What's enough?
Why would a man who has a beautiful wife, I mean, beauty's the eye of the beholder, not that, and 2 lovely daughters, owns his own gym, has a big house in Piedmont, private schools, wife wrecks a Tesla, gets a new one, everything seems to be going great. Why would he go step out and bang one of his gym members,
Right.
then promote her, like hire her, promote her, do all this stuff, and basically blow up his entire life? Why would he do all of that? He's got all of these things. He's got a house that either of us would envy.
Right.
Right? Cars that we would envy. Sending his kids to private schools.
That we want to do.
That we want to do. Can afford to send his kids to private school in LA.
Right.
Like, just send them down there. Commute back and forth.
Right.
He lived in 2 cities. Owns the entire gym. Bought the building just cause.
Right.
Right? All that stuff that we... Oh my God, if I could have all that, are you out of your mind? You know how fulfilled I'd be? Well, he wasn't. Would that fulfill us?
It's a high class problem.
Sounds like it would.
Sounds like it would.
I think about when I'm despairing about this business, I think about 3 years ago. I didn't even have this. We had just signed the lease. So 3 years ago yesterday, my Instagram post, my Facebook reminded me, was we're moving. We've got a location after all this time. I was elated and terrified and all this anticipation. I had no idea. I didn't have 10 matching barbells, and I didn't have a rig, and I didn't have this office, and I didn't have any of it. I just had a piece of paper that I'd signed.
Right.
Right? So, like, I would die to have the problem. 3 years ago, I was dying to have the problems I have right now. And in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, we're going to be looking back and being like, God, everything seems so easy. If I knew then what I know now, there but for the grace of God go I kind of thing. Like, whatever. Like, it's not about achieving things or gathering things. You don't just, like, be like, okay, I got it and I'm done.
Mm.
It's not going to be that way.
It's never that way.
It's not going to be that way. So don't expect it to be that way. And you've got to find fulfillment in a different way. It's not about if someone just come in.
The sound changed.
Oh yeah. Oh no one's here. Just the door blew open. It's not about like once I achieve this state, I'm done. I'll be done and I'll be happy for the rest of my life. You won't.
No.
Once I can deadlift 500, then everything will just work out.
My wife has this. She has a story just like that. She was like, I have learned to be happy throughout the whole process because I think just being human, you have once I get X, I'll be happy. Once I do, I'll be happy. And you opened your gym 3 years ago. I'm opening my gym. And in my head, it's like, I'm going to open the gym, and it's going to be flooding with people, and I'm going to be making money and working out, and, my kids are going to be taken care of. And I know that's not going to be the case. I know.
Not right away.
Not right away, but I know I'm going to open the gym. There's going to be some headaches here and there. They're going to be,
That's a wonderful euphemism.
Some
headaches here and there.
I'm just trying to make it as positive as possible.
That was cute.
I know I'm going to be in the facility more than I'm going to be at home. That means my wife won't see me as often as she is now because, I'm home a lot right now. That could possibly lead to some situations. Like, I need to, going back, I think the whole series of videos on discipline, going back on the discipline is like the discipline of being a good husband. I'm saying, all right, this is just me and you time.
Yeah. One of the big mistakes I made in starting all of this is I was so focused on getting the gym open that Natalie and I didn't stop and sit down and say, like, what does this mean for the rest of our lives, and are we still okay with that? I made an assumption. Because I thought she understood.
Right.
And she didn't. And she had to figure it out fast, and she resented it a little bit, and we had to fix it in hindsight. But it was like, I'm going to be at the gym, if I'm going to be coaching all the classes every day, that means when we have the kids that you're taking care of them.
Right.
And that was a lot. Like 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago, that was a lot.
Yeah.
And scary and too much. And she was pissed and she resented it. And it was like, well, I expect it to take this long before I have other coaches that can take care of things. And then that didn't happen.
Right.
And so then there had to be another conversation, be like, here's what it's going to look like. And there had to be check. So make sure that you and Amara, yes, she's got your back, like, and she's amazing, and she will agree to whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you got to set some ground rules, because she might also say, well, I expect you to be home at such and such a time. Like, well, I need to have a class time at this time, and so that means I can't be home at this time. Well, you better figure that out now.
Right.
All right? Because something's going to have to give. And so do that stuff ahead of time, because if you don't have her, you don't have shit.
Oh, and it's...
I will burn this building down before I lose Natalie.
It's segueing into relationships. We were in bed Saturday or Sunday, and she, I believe it was Sunday, because I still didn't feel 100%. She had a phone, and she was laying on my chest, and we're just chilling in the bed or whatever. And it's the first time in 39 years where I can legitimately say the person that I'm sleeping with, sharing meals with, taking care of kids with, cleaning the house, is my best friend. Like, I would say you're my best male friend.
I know, but I don't fuck you that she does.
Exactly. Like, she is my best friend. Like, if I see something funny, she gets it first.
I can 100% relate. I have the exact same relationship with Natalie.
And it's like...
She's the funniest person I know. She's the most...
I would say.
The most entertaining, just like she says funny shit. Like, when we miss on a joke, I'm like, that's weird. We don't ever miss on a joke. And it makes me feel like, I thought that thing was funny. Was that not funny? Like, I question myself.
So we question this. And this is very self-centered, and I acknowledge it. And she's like, do you think other people have a relationship like we have a relationship?
Probably not. Not as good.
But that's weird.
I think people aspire to that. I think the best relationships are like our relationships with our wives.
Right.
But I don't think...
Because she mentioned to me, like, she has a friend, I don't really think they'll see this video, but she has a friend who just got married, and he confided in her, like, they haven't been married for 5 years, but he was like, the first 3 years have been so difficult. I'm like, what? Like, difficult? Like, how is it difficult? And then I look at our relationship, I was like, are we difficult?
Why was it difficult?
I don't know. I think he meant in ways of, like, he had to compromise his life, and she's a little bit of a dragon lady, and he's a little bit of a Boy Scout, and he doesn't stand on his own 2 feet. Like, she calls the shots, and he's like, the first couple of years have been so difficult, and I'm like, this is not the right fit.
That's not to say that, like, Natalie and I don't have things that are hard.
Well, we got into a fight on Saturday night.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, fight. This is what I meant. This is what you meant.
Yeah.
Let's meet in the middle. Sorry.
Yeah. We've gotten pretty good at fighting.
Right.
Of, like, having an argument, disagreement, maybe saying something dickish, and then, like, not letting it go too far.
Right.
When she was frantic looking for her ring, I was trying to help. And so we were going through the laundry. Thought maybe it fell off while she was, like, putting laundry, so maybe it's in the washing machine. Right. So I was taking out a piece, shaking it out a little bit, and then handing it to her. She was like hanging it up on a rack because she doesn't put her clothes, certain clothes through the dryer. And so I was going faster than she was. And she was frantic, but I was like, well, fucking take this, like, go. And like, she wasn't keeping up. And then, so I just put stuff down on the floor in front of the washing machine as I was grabbing more and like shaking it out. She's like, the fucking dog's pissed there. You'll put my fucking clothes on the, like, I just fucking washed these, and like snapped at me. And I was just like, oh, I put everything right back in the washing machine and just turned and walked upstairs. I was just like, I'm walking away from this because she's not in her right mind. She's upset about something that has nothing to do with me. She feels stupid for losing this ring. Like, she's upset, and yes, she's right. Like, the dogs do pee on the floor and like whatever. It's not a problem for me. I put my clothes on the floor all the time while they're in the wash, whatever. But that's her thing, and I'm not fucking touching this. She's wrong, I'm right, and I don't need to prove it to her. I'm just gonna walk the fuck away.
Yeah, is it worth it?
Right. It was like, it pissed me off, and I was like, I did one little Yosemite Sam, like, into myself. I didn't say shit. Sat down, and then like in a couple minutes, after she had finished doing that, she came up and she's just like, I'm sorry for snapping. I'm just upset about losing the ring. Thank you for trying to help. And I was like, we're good. That was all. And like a year ago, we would have fought for a day and a half about that. I was right because blah, 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 blah. No, I was right because I was blah, 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 blah. And like, so like, I'm not saying that like every day that we've had has been like, just like this blissful experience of like, oh my God, like some days I'm fucking mad at her. And some days she's fucking mad at me. Yeah. But like, we've gotten so good at figuring those things out, like those little things, that more often than not we're having really good days.
It's interesting because, you know, it sounds kind of self-centered. I was like, do people have relationships like this? And I'm like, you know, I remember every instance of other relationships where a girl would go to grab my phone. What the fuck you grabbing my phone for, right? It's like, touch my phone. But with Amara, I was like, there you go. Yeah. I got nothing to hide.
Yeah, lock yourself out.
Go my password. Oh shit, you already know it.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be like, babe, go to my phone and get this. And it's like, that's where you need to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, way better.
It's way better.
I told Natalie this one time, and she didn't really like it, but I think she got it ultimately. Like, I think it's still in the back of her mind. Like, I'm actually a really good liar. Like, I'm very, like, if I wanted to lie, I could.
Women are better at it.
Not always. Like, I'm a smart guy.
Yeah.
I can think things through. I can lie.
Shit, I became a cop on fire.
I created a business off of it. I convinced a bunch of people that I could make money off of this. No, I'm smart enough that I can fucking lie. I'm good at it. But I don't like to because it takes a lot of energy to keep it all straight.
Jesus Christ, boy. You're like, you know, when I was applying to be a cop, I was like, okay, so if I'm going to lie about this, I got to establish this lie through all the applications, all of them.
You got to be consistent.
None of them could be different.
And it just, again, resources, time, energy, focus.
Right.
It takes so much fucking energy and focus to keep up a lie for a long time.
Yeah.
I watched my son yesterday. I took him to Target, and we got some stuff for presents.
Yeah.
All right? I won't say on the camera what we got. All right? I shouldn't have even said that we went to Target because she didn't even know. She won't watch this anyway. But we did. And I got him something because he was being good, and so I let him take something, like $10, like little RC car. I said, don't fucking tell anybody. I was like, don't tell your sister, don't tell Natalie, don't say shit to anybody that you have this thing, because then they're going to figure out that you got it on this trip, and we were supposed to be at IKEA, but instead we went to Target and then IKEA. Yeah. It's like, so don't just play it cool, man.
Yeah.
And then he was good because he wasn't thinking about it, and then he got around the dinner table, and then it occurred to him in the conversation, he's like, oh, I have this thing, and he's like, and I could see him like doing one of these, like, I want to say something so bad. It's like, you're a fucking terrible liar, man. Yeah, you're a terrible liar. You need to practice. That's what a 6-year-old lie looks like.
Yeah, you're blowing it
but
up.
Like me, not like it just takes all that fucking energy. You're like, oh. So I just tell the truth. It's just so much fucking easier.
It's so much easier.
Like it's just, and it's just not worth it to fucking lie.
You know, it's funny. Before I gotta go, funny story. So maybe it was a couple months ago. So I'm on my phone. I'm watching porn. And she comes in the room. I'm not beating my dick or anything. I'm just looking at girls with big titties or whatever. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And for a second, I was like, should I lie? And I was like, no. It's like watching porn. And she just looked at me. She was like, she shook her head and walked off. Prior to Amara, it would have been this big, evolved fucking lie over something so, like, not even, like, world ending. It was like, I was like, oh, I was just looking at girls with my tits. And she was just like, and she walked out. But she wasn't mad. Mm-hmm. She wasn't, like, her feelings were hurt. And I was just like, huh. And it felt so good to be like, she could have caught me in a lie. Because she knew what I was doing. Because she saw the screen. Like, she knew I was looking at chicks or whatever. And it was like, I could have lied and I could have violated what, our trust is pretty strong, but I could have threw a dent at it.
Yeah.
Threw a dent at it. And I was like, yeah, just throw it out. Because she knows I'm truthful.
Yeah.
She knows I'm like, if I say something, it's like, what are you doing? Just what I'm doing. No big deal, right? It was cool to have that little lesson.
Honestly, that's probably still a weak point for me.
What?
That honesty about sex and sexuality and all that.
Oh, I'm not like watching porn all the time in front of her or watching chicks in front of her all the time.
No.
But
like,
the one time she did catch me, like, I was like, oh.
I think that's probably like the place, like the one area of my relationship with Natalie that I could be more honest about. Not like I'm not like out over here like I really wish she'd fuck like peg me or something, right? Or like I really want to like eat her doo-doo, like nothing like that. Like it's not like unfulfilled requests or things like that. It's just sort of like
you know the sensitive box.
That's a soft spot for me.
Yeah, you know if you go there, it could be some serious, not serious problems, but it's going to require fucking sit down and talking and all this other stuff.
And oddly, like for someone who's like, I'm pretty like forward and pretty open, that's still a soft spot for me. I still get weird when it's real.
Yeah.
Again, things I should work on.
Things we should work on. Discipline. Alright, I gotta get going. This was fun.
Yeah, I got more shit I got emails to follow up on now. What did we get? We got an hour and a half.
I know.
Alright, well, episode 1.